There are two language versions for NZYQ HTHP curing chamber, Chinese version and English version. Introduction to components. Installation of instrument. Power connection, NZYQ2120 220 volts, 50 Hz and NZYQ1120 110 volts, 60 Hz. Connect air supply, connect water inlet, drain tube. Preparation before tests. Check whether all switches and valves of the instrument are turned off and closed. Check whether the O-ring of the cylinder cap is damaged or hardened. Replace it if necessary. Check whether there is any foreign matter or damage on the sealing cone and the cylinder body. Turn on the circuit breaker on the back of the instrument and the power switch in the electric control area respectively to put the instrument on standby. Parameter settings. Tap the Set button on the lower right of the home screen for parameter settings. Select the parameters to be modified, tap the corresponding setting buttons, and modify the values through the keyboard. After setting the parameters, tap the Return button on the lower right to return to the home screen. Preparation of testing cubes and test operations. Assemble testing molds. Pour the prepared cement slurry into the testing molds till half of the mold's depth, and mix the cement slurry about 30 times, and then keep filling the molds until the slurry overflows. Repeat the above operation for all the 4 layers of molds. Screw the lifting nut clockwise on the M10 thread at the upper end of the testing mold's middle shaft, then the testing molds are put on standby for curing in the cylinder. Hook the nut and lift the testing molds by pulling the lifting switch upward. After putting the molds into cylinder gently, remove the hook. Spray Moss to lubricant on the thread of the cylinder cap, locking nut of the thermocouple, and the thread of the sealing shaft. Then use the electric lifting unit to screw the cylinder cap into the cylinder body clockwise. After that, tap the cap handle 3 to 5 times clockwise with a wooden hammer. Lock the high-pressure relief valve clockwise. Screw the locking nut clockwise into the center hole of the sealing shaft. Turn on the water supply to fill water into the cylinder. Screw the locking nut clockwise into the center hole of the sealing shaft, and leave 1/4 of the thread outside of the hole so as to get air discharged from the cylinder when water is filled into it. When water fills up the cylinder, it will overflow from the connecting hole of the thermocouple. Then tighten the thermocouple with a wrench. Thus, the cylinder is water-filled and completely sealed. Turn on the booster pump switch. The instrument will be in automatic state to ensure constant pressure. For tests conducted under temperature over 90 C, the instrument will cool down automatically 1 hour and 45 minutes before the end of curing. When it cools down to below 90 C, turn off the water supply, the booster pump, and the heater. Slowly open the high-pressure relief valve counterclockwise to release pressure in the cylinder. When it is released completely, the valve should be fully opened. Turn on the air to cylinder switch, compress air into the cylinder, and discharge water in the cylinder through the return pipe. When the sound of airflow in the pipe can be heard, the compressed air has already entered into the pipe and the water has been discharged completely. Then push the air to cylinder switch downwards to turn it off. Remove the thermocouple with a wrench and loosen the nut of sealing shaft. Unscrew the cylinder cap counterclockwise. Tap the cap handle counterclockwise with a wooden hammer if it's screwed on too tight. Unscrew the cylinder cap and lift it with the lifting unit. Lift the testing molds gently with the lifting unit. Remove the locking nut on the testing molds. Install the handle on the testing molds and lift the molds to the next operation site. After the test is completed, clean the cylinder body, the cylinder cap, testing molds, and spray lubricant thoroughly on them. Replace the rubber O-ring if the test temperature is higher than 90 C.